Now, I really hate to bring this guy back on my channel again, but there's been some developments on this guy. If you don't know who this guy is, I did a previous report out of Las Vegas, and the news station basically said that this guy's from Toronto. And many of my viewers called BS on this, saying that there's no way in hell that this guy's actually from Toronto. But we weren't the only one talking about this. There were posts on other social media platforms that were talking about this guy. And you know what? The internet's a powerful place. And somebody was able to find this guy. And you're going to be surprised where he's actually from. Now, in this video, I'm not going to focus on the individual. I'm going to focus on the report that he was actually in. Because the US media thinks they can fool their citizens, but they're not going to fool Canadians. Also, in this video, I'm going to give everybody another update of what's happening in the United States when it comes to TSA and the airports. Luckily, most of us don't have to deal with this anymore. We can just kind of sit back and eat our popcorn and, see how long these lines are. But the chaos that is happening at all the airports across the United States is a direct reflection of the chaos of their government. But what I want to do is I want to jump into that video that I showed previously on my channel out of Las Vegas and just give everyone a refresher of this guy.
Even with economic pressures and currency concerns, Canadian tourist Corbin Russell says it is his favorite getaway.
We really love America. Canadians, they think different things, man, and Americans just have that set in stone, soul that they, just a culture.
Russell, who lives in Toronto, says the appeal is about more than just gambling, a break from the Canadian winter.
It's too cold. Canada's just so cold, and Vegas is just beautiful. It's like 85 degrees right now, t-shirt, shorts.
Now, it's pretty obvious that this guy's not from Toronto. And I saw some comments saying that maybe he's from a Toronto in the United States, because there is quite a few of them. But somebody on the Threads social media network, not related to the GTL community at all, was also investigating on this. And it looks like this guy is actually from Texas. Now, you didn't have to be a rocket science to know that this guy was not from Toronto or Canada. I mean, he used Fahrenheit, and he also referred to Canadians as they. I mean, if you're a Canadian, wouldn't you refer to yourself as we? Now, like I said earlier, it wasn't just the GTL community that kind of raised an eyebrow to this guy. Many people on the thread, I guess you call it thread, also called this guy out as well. Now, I'm not going to focus on this Corbin guy because he's just a regular US citizen that was probably asked to, basically say that he's from Toronto. But what concerns me the most is this lazy-ass reporting from this local news station in Las Vegas. Now, my previous video, I had 2 reports from this news outlet. And, it was the same, they must have filmed it the same day because a female reporter was wearing the same clothes in both reports. Now, this is just my opinion, but the way they structured the reports, it was almost like it was a promo for that Las Vegas CEO, who basically said that he had 15,000 Canadians come to his hotels because of the one-for-one promo. But the fact that we know that this US media outlet used a guy from Texas and claimed that he was from Toronto throws all of their credibility out the window. And it makes me wonder about those other quote-unquote Canadians that they interviewed. Let's take a look again.
Danica Brown is visiting Las Vegas from Vancouver Island. She says Las Vegas is an escape for her, a place to relax or have fun.
We enjoy the gambling. We enjoy the vibe, just as positive. It's kind of like, release from everything back home.
Canadian Laura Hernandez echoing the same sentiment.
You can buy us. To be honest, Canadians can be bought. Give us value if you're telling us, if you come like the one and one. If we see it as good.
Kennard Cantono believes the deal will be a hit back home.
I'm gonna go back home to my office and I'm gonna be like, oh, you guys need to go to Circa. I think it will at least blow the Canadian market because the dollar is so high right now. So anything that's like at par, Canadians will always gravitate towards.
So let me ask the viewers a question. Now that you know that Corbin is not from Toronto and he's actually from Texas, do you believe that these 3 are from Canada? Do you believe what they say represents Canadians? When the person on the top left basically said that Canadians can be bought, or the person on the bottom says she's trying to get away from the chaos on Vancouver Island. Like, seriously, it's Vancouver Island. Or the guy on the top right who said he's going to talk to all of his coworkers and say that everyone has to come down and take advantage of this one-to-one deal. Now, the guy on the top right, our community is actually pretty smart, and they tracked him down. He is actually from Canada, and he works at a Canadian travel agency. Now, I'm not going to dox him. I really don't care about that. Again, my point on bringing all of this up again is directed at the US media station. Because using fake Canadians, I mean, hey, I don't know if these 2 women are Canadian or not. I mean, I haven't seen anything. But using a fake Canadian to drive your narrative that Canadians are still coming to your city, it's just straight up wrong. But it also makes me realize how much more of this is actually going on. I mean, this was a pretty blatant case. You don't use a guy from Texas and fake that he's from Toronto. I mean, now, it makes me look back at all of the different reports, hundreds of different reports that I've done. Are the data numbers that they're reporting correct? Is the feedback from the people they interviewed accurate? And is every time that we've heard that Canadians are still coming down to the United States in droves, how much of that is bullshit? But what's sad about all of this is that their audience is going to be the locals in Las Vegas. And they are going to think now that Canadians can be bought, that they're still coming down in droves, and that will cave to a one-to-one discount. You know, in a sense, I guess that's why I have my channel. You know, in the beginning, I wanted to call out the 51st state bullshit. But I guess moving forward, we got to take everything that's coming out of the United States with a grain of salt. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Now, before I move on to the gong show that's happening at the US airports, I would like to thank Cliff for posting this photo on the Guard the Leaf page on the Hey Cafe website. And he took this photo from Abbotsford, British Columbia. Abbotsford is a place that I'm very familiar with, and it's also the place where I did my first and only time I will ever do skydiving. But Cliff mentioned on the Guard the Leaf page on the Hey Cafe website that he was hoping I would use his photo for a backdrop. Well, here it is, Cliff, and thank you very much for posting it. I always love seeing photos from back home. Now, I want to switch gears and show the chaos at the US airports right now. You might want to grab your popcorn for this one.
This morning at some airports around the country, those massive wait times not going away anytime soon.
I travel the world. I've never seen anything like this.
At Hobby Airport in Houston, passengers instructed to arrive for their flights 3 to 4 hours ahead of time due to TSA staffing shortages caused by the partial government shutdown.
Crazy. This is the first time I've ever experienced anything like this.
Now, these last two people that they interviewed who said they've never experienced anything like this, and that first lady who said she travels the world, well, we've never experienced anything like this as well. And what I'm talking about is the chaos that's coming out of your country. And the chaos that's coming out of your airports right now is a direct reflection of the current US administration.
The delays potentially impacting thousands of spring break travelers making their way through Houston's 2 airports. More than 2.5 million daily passengers are traveling through America's airports.
Come on, 2 lines, 2 escalators. Let's go, let's go.
Louis Armstrong Airport in New Orleans struggling to manage lines out to the parking garage, the mayor urging caution.
TSA agents didn't receive a paycheck, so you have a lot of the workforce that has called in sick, which is causing these huge lines.
Johnny Jones is the treasurer for the union representing TSA workers.
The thing that I'm going to tell passengers is, please, it's not our fault if people can't come to work because they no longer have funds.
Now, in this situation here, I don't blame TSA. I mean, they're forced to go to work without being paid. For me, if I was in their shoes, I would be looking for another job. I mean, it's already happened a few times, and I'm guessing by the time the orange guy's gone, it's going to happen again. But I would also be pretty pissed off, knowing that the US administration is spending all of the money, $1 billion a day, on the war in the Middle East, that stupid ballroom that he's making, and the millions of dollars that the orange guy is spending on getting his Qatar jet prepped for his use.
And things aren't looking to get better anytime soon. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby saying the surge in jet fuel prices since last Friday could have a meaningful impact on the airline's business. And we are seeing shorter lines this morning, but officials are warning the longer this shutdown goes on, the more likely we are to see those issues and long lines. George?
And Gia, there was a major snafu with JetBlue.
Yeah, so this was an overnight ground stop nationwide. It lasted about 2 hours for JetBlue. It turns out that it was an IT issue, but we are told this morning that everything is now back to normal. So that's good news, George.
Now, I'm really curious to see what spring break ending is going to be like. I mean, people are going to their destinations, and it'll probably calm down within the next few days. But when it comes back to like March 21st, I guess it's going to be, it's probably going to be chaos again when everybody tries to go home. Now, this next airport chaos video, I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to run it all the way through because I want everybody to see how long this lineup actually is and be grateful that we're actually not in it.
Yeah, how did I show up almost 6 hours early for my flight and still stressed about missing it? No, seriously. Look at this. This video is sped up 2.6x. And it's still taking forever. Child, the TSA line was so long, it went from check-in, past baggage claim, and all the way down to passenger pickup. Like, huh? At this point, the line looks like it's about to leave the airport itself, okay? And you know the lines were long because from time to time, you had people set up in little carts passing out waters and snacks to keep us from passing out because some of us had been standing in line for 4 hours. Even the news showed up because I don't think anybody has ever seen anything like this before. So apparently, travelers flying out of the Houston Hobby Airport are dealing with hour-long TSA lines because of the staffing shortages tied to the government shutdown. When I tell you, it feels like these people just said, y'all got it, and left the rest of us to figure it out ourselves. The wild part is 2.2 million people are expected to fly through or to Houston this month alone. So I am curious about how this is about to play out for the long term. Because if this is the preview, girl. Now, granted, I had a time in Houston. Houston don't owe me nothing. I enjoyed myself, but I am not going to lie. This line might make me rethink coming back anytime soon, because how you show up 5.5 hours early and still feel like you're about to miss your flight? At this point, the plane might leave, come back, and I'll still be in line. And just in case you haven't noticed, the line is still going.
So, to anyone still watching this video, and if you haven't clicked off yet, what are your thoughts on this line? I'm just glad I'm not in it, and I don't have to deal with it. But for the people that are in the line, I mean, if you voted for the orange guy, I have zero sympathy for you. But if you didn't, it's unfortunate that you have to deal with this. Personally, I don't see the situation getting any better anytime soon, at least for the next 3 years. And my gut's telling me that before the orange guy's done his term, there's going to be more government shutdowns, which means this is probably going to happen again. So if anyone's still considering going to the United States or having a stopover or a layover in the US, you might want to keep an eye out for those future government shutdowns. If you found any value or agree with anything I said in this video, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective without the US media bias, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below, so that way you're notified of my videos. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.